98FM. The sound of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m.
With Adrian Kennedy.
Now, let's deal with this issue. And the issue is women being constantly groped by men when they're in pubs and clubs and out on the social scene, not only in Dublin, anywhere. As you will have read over the last couple of days, Irish TV presenter Laura Whitmore spoke out about an incident that happened to her. She spoke out about the time a random man in a nightclub came up from behind and put his hand up her skirt. And yeah, she's very annoyed about it. And he just stood there laughing. Now, Tara, you were saying that this is a regular occurrence.
Yeah, it would be for me and like other women that I would talk to as well. I'd say it would be for maybe a lot of women that would be listening to the show as well.
And in terms of the blokes who do this, what could be done or should be done about them?
It's a big question because I think it's very hard to police or monitor. I mean, if you went up to a bouncer or something, they would just say, it would just be your word against his. The guy would be laughing, like, I didn't, what you talking about? And so how can you kind of prove anything? So it's not even worth your while going up to a bouncer. You just kind of, you just have to try and get on with your night and try not to feel like a piece of rubbish. But I think it's more about social attitudes. That's what needs to change. I mean, I'd be interested to know, I know how, from a woman's point of view, I know I kind of have an idea of what the situation is like, but I'd be interested to know from a man's point of view. It's great to hear that men are appalled by this. I never heard the conversation kind of happen, I suppose, among men, but I'd also be interested to know if a man saw this happening or his mate was bragging about it or whatever, would he be called out on it? So I think it's more about having a conversation and kind of ruling, and like, it's a society thing, it's an attitude thing, it's like a sense of entitlement, and that's what needs to be addressed, I think.
Okay, Tara, stay there for 1 second, because John, you're sick of people being anti-men.
Yes, good morning, Adrian.
Hi, John, how are you?
I have a pain in my arse listening to these women's issues being baited out, being put on the radio every day of the week. At the end of the day, not every man is going out to feel a woman up or to bang off her in a nightclub or to do this or that and the other. But the way it sounds like every man is out there to harm women in every shape and form, and I have a pain listening to it at this stage. This feminazi liberal agenda that women are going on with, I have a pain listening to it. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, if, women go out there and they pinch men's arses and they rub off men and all the rest of it, do you hear a man on the radio going on about it? No, but you hear women going on about it.
Well, in fact, I did get a message a couple of minutes ago from a fella, and we're trying to get him on, actually. He says, I'm a bloke and this happens to me most weekends with women touching me. What's the difference? And Tara, what is the difference?
What is the difference, yeah?
I personally don't think there is a difference. I think in any shape or form, touching anybody inappropriately is wrong, and there is no difference. In my personal experience, that hasn't happened to me from a strange woman. A strange woman on her own has never come up to me and put her hand up my skirt, whereas it has happened with a man. And I think a lot of women would say the same. I can't speak for men, and I'm certainly not saying that all men behave like this, but I do think it's a fact that attitudes among young men are very questionable. I mean, you only need to see what's happening in Cork and that school. It's like attitudes it's like a lot of men, not all men, a lot of men have this sense of entitlement and arrogance that they feel like if they see a woman out, they can get on board with touching her or whatever, or they feel like they're able to because maybe a woman's dressed a certain way or whatever. And I think, it's your speaker there. It sounds like you're a little insecure about having this conversation. It sounds like there's something like, what's wrong with having this conversation? Why do you not want to hear about this? Do you not think it's a good idea to kind of get these issues out in the open and have every man have their say and every man say whatever their view is? Like, what's wrong with hearing these conversations happen?
Okay, John, do men have the right, or do you think people are complaining about nothing here, the right to grope a woman in a nightclub, like what happened to Laura Whitmore?
Adrian, I'm going to answer that woman's question straight away. There's a lot wrong with this being petered out on the radio every day of the week. It's like the Joe Duffy show. It's ridiculous. RT's the same. You look at the news, it's women here, it's women there. Everything now is around a woman. At the end of the day, this society has become an anti-man, and it's very wrong. Because there's men out there going, I don't do this. What the hell am I listening to these women cracking on about this crap day in, day out?
Okay, well, what do you say to that, Tara? That not all men do this, and he's got a pain in his face. And in fact, you've said this to me before, John. You've a pain in your face listening to this constant coverage of
liberal bullshit, yeah,
of and all anti-men.
Yeah, okay, totally anti-men.
My response is not anti-men. Not at all. My response to that
is then? You tell me what it is.
It's people talking about their experiences, and that's only
women talking about.
Are you going to let me answer? Are you going to talk over me? You're asking questions.
John, let her answer.
Yeah, all right, go on, speak.
All right. Speak. What's the alternative, John? What's the alternative? Are we supposed to stay quiet and say nothing and hope that it goes away? You tell me. What's the alternative?
You have a point there from a man who said that his arse has been pinched up, banged up against in a nightclub by women. Do you see men going on about that? No. You see women banging on about this stuff all the time because there's an audience out there for them at this stage, and it's called liberalism. And at the end of the day, I'm sorry, I have a pain listening to it. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there this morning go, not again, the Agent Kennedy phone show, another woman's issue. Why don't you talk about something else that's more beneficial to society than the crap
hang on, this is beneficial to society. Adrian, hang on, John. Hang on.
Over again.
Okay, hang on for 1 second. Laura Whitmore is standing in a club, and as Tara said, we will be hard-pressed to find a woman that this hasn't happened to. Now, I want you to listen to what happened. She says...
I heard what happened, Adrian.
I'm going to repeat it. I was in a club with my friends and I could feel a hand on the back of my leg. Initially, I thought it was my boyfriend messing or a mate about to pinch my bottom. But the hand went under my skirt, between my legs, and firmly touched me. As I turned, I saw it was a guy that I didn't know. He was laughing. Now, as I said, Tara said we'd be hard-pressed to find a woman that something like that hasn't happened to. That's just not acceptable, John.
It's not acceptable to touch a woman. It's not acceptable to touch a man. At the end of the day, people in nightclubs nightclubs can be quite packed even on a busy weekend. This idea that women are going on, it's just them. It is becoming an anti-men society against men at this stage. I mean, not every man goes out every weekend to touch up a woman or to do this or to rape a woman or do any of this. I mean, only yesterday I seen in the paper there that they're still at them guys down the north. They have another headline in the paper again.
Okay, don't want to talk about them at all, John.
No, I know you don't, because again, you're not hitting at the woman here, you're hitting at the men. The fact that
sorry, that's not the reason that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, okay, well, whatever. The fact of the matter is, this again is an anti-man topic, and I mean, at the end, if you want to make it balanced, then bring in more male callers who this has happened to and balance her out that way.
If I can get those get those male callers, I'll happily put them on the air. The guy who sent us that message isn't answering his phone, so there you go.
That man, well, he should ring in then and say it then, because that man is obviously sick of the same carry on. So it's something that's happening to both men and women. It's not just a woman exclusive problem. It seems to be both male and female. But the way it's been projected on the radio this morning, you swear it was just women, women and women.
Okay, Tara, give me an example, if you wouldn't mind, of something specific that happened to you in terms of being... You're out and about, you're in a club or a pub or whatever. Give me the worst example of what's happened to you.
Well, it's happened to me standing at a bus stop. I mean, I was standing at a bus stop in Eden Quay. I was wearing a long skirt and I feel this hand on my arse, and it was feeling my arse. It was rubbing my arse. And then I turn around and this old man just starts laughing with a horrible, toothless grin. It was disgusting. I nearly got sick. And then I went home and I was talking to senior female members in my family, and I told them the situation, and the response was, I shouldn't have been wearing that skirt. So it's kind of, I think that's the worst scenario. Not only are you feeling violated, but you're feeling like you're the one in the wrong. And even now, listening to your caller, like, now I'm in the wrong because I'm anti-man and I'm just talking about an experience. And I just think that's, like, there's so many things wrong with that.
I mean, John, okay.
Adrian, first and foremost, I have to say, I don't believe that story for 1 minute. I'm sorry, I don't believe every woman seems to have the same story, that men are at bus stops or they're here, they're there, and they're ready to just...
Why in God's name would you want to make that up now, in fairness?
I don't know, but I don't believe in it. I don't believe that story one bit. I mean, that sounds to me just ridiculous, to say the least. I mean, there's, an elderly man is going to feel up a woman at a bus stop in front of everybody. I mean, come on, let's be real about this.
All right, stay there for 1 second. Neve, you're on 98FM. Hi, Neve.
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
Good, thanks, Neve. What did you want to say on this?
I don't think this is an anti-man situation, and I think it's an anti the minority of men that feel that this is okay. Just like it's not women's fault if men won't speak up about it. If men have the same issue, let them speak up as well, because men do have the same issue.
Okay, but men tend not to. There might be like that person who sent me in. Again, I'm putting out the call. If you are a man who is being groped in a nightclub by a woman, call me. I want to hear from you. On 6797981. Here's the thing, Neve. The difference, I think, is that yes, it possibly happens to men as well, like that fellow who sent us in that message, but they don't complain about it. They seem to like it.
I think what happened to Laura Whitmore, right? I'm just taking her word as gospel.
Yes.
I'm believing what she said is true, okay? What happened to her, that went beyond pinching somebody's bum. That guy put his hand up under her skirt. I mean,
and between her legs, yes.
That's assault, okay? If that happens on the street to anyone else and you press charges, the police will take that really seriously. It is a form of sexual assault. Now,
John, do you not agree with that?
I don't have anyone's right to touch anyone's private parts, just like I don't have a right to go and feel up a man's private parts in any situation.
Okay, John, do you not accept that incident that Laura Whitmore described is assault, sexual assault?
Well, first and foremost, Adrian, if that actually happened, it would be assault, yes. You couldn't say anything less than that. It is assault. But again, you only have a woman's word to witness. She only have her word to say that it happened. Whoever this person has done that, I mean, at the end of the day, you only have one side of the story. And that's what gets me, because you always seem to go on one side of the story and you don't seem to balance it. Did it happen? Did it not happen? Was it made up? Was it not made up?
Okay, what I want to try and find out is, if it happens to men, why don't men complain about it? Because, I mean, Tara, you would agree that what happened to Laura Whitmore, what happened to you at the bus stop, just is not acceptable. Do you think women need to start taking this more seriously? There's no suggestion that Laura Whitmore got this guy arrested or anything of the sort. A lot of people just think that it's the seedy, nasty side of going out clubbing.
I think everyone needs to take it more seriously. It's not just a woman thing. It's certainly not anti-men. It's about it's about not being assaulted when you go out. Everyone needs to address it. It's not just a woman's issue. It's everybody's issue.
Okay, why do you think men don't complain about it? I honestly, and I'm not exaggerating, I can't.
If it happens to a man,
yeah.
I guess. I suppose nobody wants to see themselves as a victim. I've never spoken out, and I'm sure nobody wants to kind of say, "Oh my God, this happened to me," because you don't want to be a victim. I don't define myself as a victim, and I'm sure Laura Whitmore doesn't either. And I'm sure any woman who's kind of come out and raised awareness about this, they don't want to see themselves as victims. Equally, I'm sure if it happened to a man, you don't want to see yourself as a victim. I suppose with men, there's. I don't know, there's the whole question of masculinity. If it happens to a man, it's maybe it's something to be more. I don't know. I'm not a man, so I can't answer that question. But I guess it's something that they just don't want to be seen as a victim.
Okay, stay there for a second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Lauren, you're on 98FM. Hiya, Lauren.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. How are you?
Good, I'm good.
Now, what did you want to say on this?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with her. I can't even count the amount of times, over the years, I couldn't even estimate the amount of times that it happened to me. People passing by and, even people rubbing up against you, trying to get by you and just, on purpose. And, it's just and then you have other ones that just, won't stop at you, like won't stop touching off you and stuff, like. And I used to get it all the time when I used to go out. I don't go out clubbing or anything anymore, like. But when I did, like, you just have to get on with it, like, because it's just literally happened so many times.
To the point that you don't even notice it anymore?
Oh no, not that, like, but you just, like, you just have to, like, if you let it bother you every time it happens, you're going out, it's going to ruin your night, but then you have other ones that just keep, like, the most recent really was last August we were in the Galway races, and we went into Galway town, and a guy, he just kept touching my arm, and I kept saying, you have to stop doing that now, like, he was drunk, and I had to keep saying, you have to stop doing that, and he kept touching at me until I had to the point where I had to get a bit aggressive and say, like, you need to back the F off, like,
And obviously you don't want to have to be doing that, but he had no right to do that to you.
No, absolutely.
Now, in that case, he sounds like an absolute creep, although they all sound like creeps, to be honest. But what you're saying is that this is, unfortunately, just what happens.
To me, and as that girl said, I don't know anyone that really hasn't happened to at least once or twice, and I think people with a bit of drink on them think they have the right to, or they think that a girl might take it as flattery, or something. I don't know what they think.
One of the things that Tara said a couple of minutes ago is we all need to start taking this more seriously, to realise that it is not acceptable to for men to grope women like this, and vice versa, although men tend not to complain about it.
Yeah. I mean, like, nobody likes people in their personal space anytime, day or night or whatever. And to have people, like, just completely come into your personal space and to touch you when you don't want them to touch you is completely wrong,
Okay, do you think, and I'll use the example of Laura Whitmore. She's out and about, hand went up her skirt between her legs, and he firmly touched me. As I turned, I saw it was a guy who I didn't know, and he was laughing. Do you think we need to take this so seriously that men like this should be arrested?
Well, that's just like putting your hand up between. That's assault, absolutely. I think it's disgusting. I think I don't know how you would police it, or I don't know how you would do that. But I mean, if somebody could be proved to have done it, I think, absolutely something should be done, because they have no right. Nobody has a right to do it. Men or women, like, nobody has a right.
All right, stay there for a second. Kayla, you're on 98FM. Hiya, Kayla.
How are we?
Good, thank you. What did you want to say on this?
Just basically what I text in, saying if that man, John, if he was out on a night out and another man came up to him and grabbed him by the legs, he'd probably floor him, like. Do you know, it's double standards.
Yeah, John, you mightn't be happy, would you, if it was a man who did it?
No, I have to say, no, I have no time for gay people, so I mean, no, I
don't, no, I'm not bringing gay into it, but I'm just saying if anyone came up to you in the middle of a nightclub and grabbed you down below, what would your reaction be?
Yeah, I wouldn't be into that at all.
But so why?
As any man wouldn't be into that, no.
So why do you think,
The point I'm making here, the bottom line, guys, is this, that basically, like this topic again is anti-man. At the end of the day, not every man is going out there to grope a woman, feel a woman, or, brush past her. Not every man is out there, but the way you're portraying your topic this morning, here's the nasty men again, they're out there now to cause women problems everywhere they meet them.
It is a lot of men, though.
Sorry, hang on, Kayla, I just heard you saying something there. Say it again.
I said it's a lot of men. This happens every weekend.
I thought you said it was a majority of men.
Well, no, it is. It's a lot.
It's not. It's not, Kayla. I have never, ever uninvited shoved my hand up a woman's skirt.
Okay,
ever in my life.
I know. Like, I know there's men out there that have that respect that wouldn't go up. But like, I'm only in my late 20s. I know, so are all my friends in their late 20s. And there's not a weekend that one of us, that we go out and there's not something. We're lucky enough now, we're bouncers, we just say to them and they'll come over. But like, there's not a weekend that one of us is like, oh, my man is after, brushing off me or trying it on, like, what I mean? It happens every weekend. It's so prevalent, like. So it is a lot of men.
Okay, let me read this message just come in. It happened recently to my boyfriend's dad to be slapped on the bum by a woman in a pub, and it's not acceptable. She was quite mad, though, because later on she went on and forced a kiss on his friend. Completely unacceptable. I do think they should have something done, but I don't know what, says that message. Kayla,
Yeah.
Do you accept that this happens to men as well, and men
Absolutely.
but men don't seem to care?
No, absolutely. Of course it does. It's not a one-sided thing. Of course it happens to men as well. But you see, it's an ego thing with men too. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a thing in front of the friends, you know. Like, no man, I don't think I've ever seen a man to be like, oh, Jesus, like, you know, don't, you know.
No, neither have I, I'll have to be honest. But I have known and I have seen it happen against men, and men don't see it as sexual assault or don't see it as anything of the sort.
Now, don't get me wrong, like, come here, if we'd all call sexual assault against a fella touching our bum, we'd all have charge lists as long as our arms, like, you know what I mean? But,
yeah, I'm sure you would, yeah.
You know, but like, there is boundaries, like up the skirt, like Laura Whitmore, like that's too far, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to call for a guy to be arrested just because he came up and pinched my bum in the middle of a nightclub. I think that's a bit far, like, you know what I mean? Everybody tries it on, like, everybody tries their luck or whatever, like, you know, but...
Okay, and if something like that happens to you, do you not take it as a bit of banter?
Well, yeah, like, I would, like, if someone came up, I would actually kind of take it as, I don't know if that makes me sound like a very low respect for myself, but like if someone came up and touched my bum, I'd be like, oh Jesus, but like, there's boundaries there as well, like, you know, if he's going to start getting sloppy on you and starting, you know, groping you and sticking his hand, that's no, like, that's my personal space, like, you know what I mean? That's just no, like, it's too far, and men should know that. A lot of men don't know their boundaries, like, and they should know their boundaries.
Okay, stay there for a second. Our telephone number is 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. Frank, I'm going to talk to you after the break. You are a man who claims that this happens regularly and you do feel violated.
Adrian, a joke's a joke now. It's just men are just being treated like an object.
Okay, stay there for a second. Kayla, I just want to read a message to you and see what you think of this, yeah? It says, if females don't like anyone being in their personal space or groping, then maybe they shouldn't go to those kinds of bars or clubs. Guys go out to pull, and girls know what all those night venues are like. If they don't like it, they can avoid going there.
Right, so we should all sit in on a Saturday night because men are there. That's like... So we should go out because men are there.
No, he's basically saying there are certain types of venue that this sort of thing is more likely to happen to.
There's no certain type of venue. It happens everywhere you go out on a night out. It happens in the pub. It happens in the nightclub. It happens after the nightclub on the street. There's no certain venue that has a sign in there on the top of the door that says, you know, gropers in here, like, you know. No,
it doesn't. No, I've never seen that on the door of a club. No.
You know,
what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you?
Oh, I've had that with up the skirt and the whole lot, and like, you know what I mean, and grabbing.
And how did you deal with that? Just smack him across the face, or
no? Well, I've been close. I won't lie to you, but like I'm lucky enough where I am, where the bouncers will, like, you just say, like, I'm a small town in Waterford, like, so everyone's known, like, so you just literally call over the bouncers, and the bouncers will either fuck him out or, you know, tell him to move on, like, do you know what I mean? So that's how we kind of deal with it down here.
All right, stay there for a second, Kayla. Frank, now, you're saying this happens to you all the time.
Hello, Adrian. How are you?
I'm good, Frank. What did you want to say?
Yeah, no, that girl there, Kaylee, like, I can understand what she's saying, Adrian, because I mean, she's part of an elite club like myself.
An elite club?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're extremely good looking.
Oh, Jesus.
No, you see, Adrian, that's what's wrong with you. Like, you're laughing. I mean, it's got to the stage now where it's happening to me all the time, Adrian. I go in, I stop off, I go into a shop, the local spot, for a coffee. There's a girl winking at me. She's touching me. It's ridiculous, it is. And I say to myself, women are just seeing men, not all men, but like most men, like myself, say, as an object, Adrian, as a toy.
Well, welcome to a woman's world.
But we're not just for Christmas, Adrian.
No, but welcome to a woman's world.
But I understand that, girl, and I understand all beautiful people, because it's not easy. Some people go up in the morning, Adrian, they look in the mirror, they see a pimple, they see a spot, they see a ball patch, they go, oh, God, look at me. Be thankful for that, because you won't be getting scourged and tormented. Embrace ugliness, because then you can sit on your own and not be bothered.
So you, when you're out, The women just can't keep their hands off you.
Adrian, it's not only out. I told you, going to the bloody shop, going in, walking the street, you're getting eyeballs. When I'm out in a club, if I'm in a club, it's even more so, Adrian. Hands everywhere.
Must be penciled.
What did she say?
Doesn't matter. Is it as bad, Frank, a man getting groped as it is a woman getting groped?
I don't know, Adrian. Look,
put it this way. Okay, put it this way. Have you ever complained about it?
No.
No. So it's obviously not that bad.
No, I mean, I do understand.
Have you ever gone up to a bouncer and said, Mr. Bouncer, that girl there's after feeling me up?
No, and I'll tell you why. I do enjoy it, Adrian.
Yeah, there you go. That's the
I do enjoy it. But listen, no one has the right to be touching anyone at the end of the day. It's assault, whether it's man or woman. Shouldn't be doing
true. Yeah, that's true. Like, it is. Well, there's man or woman.
It's as simple as that. If a stranger touches you, you don't like them, there's no right doing it. Tell them to F off. Simple as. But I mean, I just want to let women know, Adrian, like, this has to stop now. I mean, I'm sick of it. I've even tried letting myself go a bit.
Frank, I have to say something to you.
Don't hurt me now, Adrian. Don't hurt me. It's Friday.
No, here's what I'm going to say to you. You're actually making light of what is quite a serious issue, so I'm going to end that part of the conversation. Nigel, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Nigel?
How's it going, Adrian?
Yeah, what did you want to say? It's happened to you as well.
Not like Laura Whitmore. And just one thing as well. Like, a fella and friends was there, and I really don't understand a lot of them that are jumping on board. Why it happened to them. A fella was there. If my girlfriend was touched with the way she was, that was a violent touch. I'd know. She'd come back to the table and tell me, and we'd go over and sort it.
Yeah.
But even with the doorman, but to come out 10 years later and say...
And it wasn't 10 years later, it was only last year.
Well, last year, our friends didn't even know, so she kept the touch to herself. I don't understand that part, if it was so shocking to her. Our fellas should know, and our friends.
I don't know if it was that shocking that she held on to it or whatever. I think it's that it was a question asked to her in an interview with, I think it was Hot Press or one of them.
Yeah.
And not so much that she just brought it up now, but she was asked a specific question and that's how she answered it, I think.
It was like in our local, I won't say where, just in our local. And a few girls came in, bit of a hand, but then half them left. I couldn't. There was 4 points on the counter, and when I grabbed it, I asked them for a tray. And when I turned with the tray, I got a little squeeze. I took it as a bit of banter because they were half gargled. I didn't go home.
Put in a formal complaint.
Feel
violated.
Physically assaulted. Yeah.
Okay. Can you say, for example, the Laura Whitmore thing? Can you understand why she might have felt violated?
Of course.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
Why do men not complain? Why do men laugh it off? And the word you used was banter.
More skinned.
We're more thick-skinned.
Yeah. It's the girls just come across as having a bit of banter and a laugh, and when they're messing, they have a laugh at you, and you hear them because some of them do be loud. But you take it in your stride. But don't get me wrong, a female part, it is different.
Okay, so it's worse for women than it is for men.
Yeah, but I just don't understand it. If someone really done that to me, I'd be straight to a doorman or me fella or me friends, explain what happened. I wouldn't just say it and drop it as a casual line in an interview. If it meant so much, I don't get it. I'm just lost on that part.
All right, let me read this message. Believe me, on the other hand, I'm a woman, and there are plenty of girls that laugh off boob grabbing and arse slapping, and that doesn't help. In other words, they laugh it off, they think it's hilarious. Robbie, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Robbie.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks, Rob. What do you want to say?
Adrian, why the hell do women, why can't they just go out and enjoy themselves? Why can't men just be gentlemen like they used to be? Like, why do you have to grope a woman? Why? Men and women should be treated equally. This country is equal. So it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. It's the same thing, like Frank there, Jesus, I don't know where you got that fella, but like, where the hell, it's the exact same for a man and woman. And the fact that he's saying that he can't even go into a shop or whatever, and he's getting winked at, fair play to you, good man yourself. But for women getting touched in a nightclub...
By the way, Rob, I didn't believe a word out of that fella's mouth.
No, he was full of it. I've never heard a man talking so much bullshit in my life. Like, you know, a woman goes out to enjoy herself. Why can't a woman just get dressed up, do what she wants to do? If she's working hard all week or she has kids, she has every right then to get dolled up, go out on a Friday and Saturday night and enjoy herself without some idiot coming up and touching her and ruining her night for her. Like, no doorman should have to kick anyone out because of it, because men should just have respect for women. Just have the respect. What happened to that? Why can't you just have the respect for a woman?
What would you say to this message from a bloke? Adrian, I've been groped while working the doors of clubs. I've been groped as a customer at bars and on the dance floor, and that's on both genders, and I just laughed it off on all occasions. I'm a man. As my mates say, now this is the bit that will annoy an awful lot of women. As my mates say, if the girls don't want to be looked at or tapped on the ass, don't dress like a girl screaming for attention, waving the lads to come on over.
How does that make any sense? So, you know, a man gets showered, gets dressed, puts a bit of aftershave on and gets a shave and goes out on a Friday and Saturday night hoping to pull a woman. Now, a woman, she goes out on a Friday, Saturday night, she does the same thing, shower, dress, makeup and goes out to enjoy herself. And maybe sometimes some of the women want to pull a man. But what woman wants to get groped by somebody? How is that starting any kind of relationship or even a night out with a man? Like that fella there, I've done the door agent for years and that happened to me the same thing. And no, I was married and no, it's not a nice thing to be touched. And I would tell a woman to back away. Because why, if they want to be treated the same, well then don't be touching me the same way. It's just, I just don't understand, Adrian. I just can't understand why there's even an argument over it.
All right, Rob. Well, if you are heading out this weekend and you're a bloke, as you could hear from an awful lot of women, they don't want that sort of attention. They don't want you touching them when you're not invited to do so. Anyway, this is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.